All right, get ready because today we are diving into a wedding in Santorini, Greece.
Ooh, sounds dreamy.
Yeah, super dreamy. We'll be looking at a blog post from Maharani Weddings.
I've heard of them.
They're all about showing off amazing Indian weddings, and this one is set against like those white buildings and the blue Aegean Sea.
I can picture it.
But then you add the bright colors and the flowers and the energy of an Indian wedding celebration.
Not your typical destination wedding, for sure.
No, not at all. Plus, the venue itself, it's called Santorini Gem, is known for its views.
Oh, wow.
The photos are amazing, and the blog has tons of shots from a photographer named Hannah Monica Photography.
I bet those are stunning.
You can see the fusion of cultures when you see the guests in bright outfits against that simple landscape.
What a great contrast.
It is, right? Like a photographer's dream.
Speaking of dreams, can we talk about the mandap for a second?
Yes, I was just going to say, this mandap is next level.
Mirrored panels, cascading flowers. It's like something out of this world.
And it's Santorini that makes it even more amazing.
How so?
Well, all the light and the blue skies really make the mandap stand out.
Ah, I see what you mean.
It was designed by the wedding planner, DW Events, and decorated with incredible flowers by Red Box Days.
I was going to ask about the flowers.
They used mirrors and a ton of flowers to make something that's modern and traditional at the same time.
I bet the sunlight reflecting off the mirrors made it look magical.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
That's probably how the photographer got such incredible pictures.
makes sense. And then you have the couple, Davisha and James, standing there.
The Visha was wearing this ivory and gold outfit by Peony and Lotus. The blog said it was regal.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And what about James?
He was wearing an ivory sherwani,
They both sound so stylish.
and the pictures really capture their love.
Yeah, you can tell how they feel about each other just by looking at the pictures.
Totally. Like you can see those little moments of excitement and joy.
That's what makes a good photographer.
Right. They tell a story through pictures.
Speaking of stories, let's hear about the reception.
Well, they had a DJ DB, who kept the party going. Fun.
But the real highlight was the fireworks by Skylight Fireworks.
Fireworks over the agency. Wow.
The blog even talked about Davisha and James's electric chemistry.
So perfect when you're picturing fireworks, right?
Totally. And the blog does a great job of showing the whole experience, not just listing vendors.
I like that.
It makes it more personal.
Yeah, it does. So some of the other amazing people involved were Magic Videography. They filmed everything.
Oh, cool.
And then Versa Punjab Da for the Bharat.
I was wondering about that since that's a big part of Indian weddings.
Oh, for sure. And then there was Petron Art for the cake, Spark Events for all the rentals, Santorini Events did the lighting and built that mandap. It just goes on and on.
So many people contributed to their vision.
It's true. You can tell they really planned every detail.
That's amazing.
Mm.
And speaking of details, I have to say, the lighting on that mandap must have been spectacular.
You're right. The blog post even mentioned how Santorini Events use lighting to highlight those mirrored panels.
It must have looked incredible in photos.
For sure. And then there's the music. DJ DB kept everyone dancing, mixing traditional Indian music with modern hits.
Well, that's a good idea.
Davisha and James were going for a balance, honoring their heritage, but also creating a fun atmosphere for everyone.
Sounds like a great party.
I know, right? And a good DJ can really make or break the reception.
That's so true. They have to know how to read the crowd.
Totally. And then going back to the ceremony for a second,
Okay.
the blog mentioned a Havan ceremony, which was done by Weddings and Whimsy Santorini.
Interesting. The Havan is a traditional Hindu ritual, right?
Yes, exactly. It's really cool that they included these core elements of their heritage, even though they were in Greece.
It shows how important their traditions are to them.
Right, and it's part of a bigger trend in destination weddings.
What's that?
Couples want to create a really personal experience that shows their values and traditions.
It's not just about the location anymore.
Exactly. So let's take a minute and think about this.
Okay.
We've got this incredible location, this fusion of cultures, all these amazing details.
It's a lot to take in.
Can you imagine being a guest at this wedding?
It must have felt like stepping into another world.
Right, where two cultures come together and everything is beautiful and unforgettable.
Yeah, totally. And we haven't even talked about the seating plan or the aisle runner.
Oh, you're right. There's so much more to talk about.
These small details really add to the whole atmosphere.
They do. And they show how much effort went into planning this wedding.
It was more than just picking a pretty place.
Exactly. They created their own little world for the weekend.
A world where cultures blend and love is celebrated.
Perfectly said. What stands out to you the most from everything we've talked about?
Well, It's hard to choose just one thing.
I know, there's so much.
But I think what's really sticking with me is that a destination wedding doesn't have to mean giving up your heritage.
You can use the location to make it even more meaningful.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this Santorini wedding is a perfect example of that.
Davisha and James took this iconic location and made it their own.
They created an experience that was both visually stunning and full of meaning.
That's a great way to put it. And it brings up a bigger question.
Uh-oh, I know that tone.
What does this wedding tell us about the future of destination weddings?
Ooh, good question. I think we're already seeing a shift towards more personalized and experiential celebrations.
So less cookie cutter, more custom made.
Yeah, exactly. And this Santorini wedding is a great example of that trend.
It's not just about escaping to a beautiful place anymore.
It's about creating something unique that tells your story as a couple.
I'm with you on that. But I have a feeling we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore and unpack.
I can't wait.
We'll dive deeper in just a minute.
Perfect. You know, one thing that really struck me was how they wove their story into the wedding.
Oh, like with the mani.
Yeah, exactly. The blog post mentioned how Davisha's Mani told their whole love story.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that idea.
For anyone who doesn't know, Mani is basically henna tattoos.
Right, it's a huge part of Indian culture, especially for weddings.
It's like art you can wear, but with deep meaning.
And in this case, it was a way for Davisha to make the wedding even more personal.
To share their story with everyone there.
Plus, imagine how those intricate henna designs looked against the white buildings in blue sea.
Seriously, so stunning. What a picture.
It makes you think about what it was like to be a guest there.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by this mix of Greek and Indian elements everywhere you look.
It's like they created a world where these two cultures just fit perfectly together.
I know. If you could experience one part of this wedding, what would it be?
That's a tough one.
I know, right?
I think I'd want to see the ceremony, just to see that glow around the mandap.
But the reception sounds pretty epic, too.
Oh, for sure. Dancing under the stars with those views.
And DJ DB playing music.
Sounds like the perfect mix.
Yeah, the blog post said they played both India and modern music.
They really thought about everyone's experience.
It wasn't just a wedding, it was an event.
Makes you wonder where destination weddings go from here.
Right. What's next?
I think we're already seeing it. Weddings are becoming more personalized and experiential.
So it's not about just going to a pretty place anymore.
Yeah, it's about creating something unique that tells the couple's story.
Like a custom-made wedding.
Exactly. And this Santorini wedding is a great example of that.
They took this famous place and made it their own.
They brought their traditions, their style, and they made something both beautiful and meaningful.
That's so well said. Okay, so we've talked about the cultures, the details, the setting.
What else is there?
What about the feelings, the emotions?
Oh, you're right. This blog post has photos that capture all those special moments.
Between Davisha and James, their families, their friends.
That's where the photographer and videographer come in.
They capture those little moments of joy and love that make a wedding special.
And for the guests, those moments become memories.
I can picture myself there, overlooking the sea, watching the sunset, surrounded by people I love.
Sounds amazing.
The food, the music, the laughter, the flowers.
They're making me want to go to Santorini.
Me too. But let's get back to the wedding. What's the biggest takeaway for you from all of this?
I think it's that a destination wedding can be more than just a pretty background.
It can be a chance to create something unique and meaningful.
Something that shows your values in your love story.
And it starts with a vision, right?
For sure. Davisha and James knew what they wanted.
And they found the right people to help them make it happen.
From the planner to the photographer, they had a great team.
Which brings up another interesting point.
What's that?
We've talked about the couple's vision, but what about the vendors?
Oh, interesting. What about them?
What was it like for them to be a part of something so unique?
I bet it was rewarding to use their skills to create something so special.
And it's a reminder that a wedding is a team effort.
Everyone works together to make the magic happen.
And for a destination wedding, that team includes the local culture and the people of the place.
It's about embracing the spirit of Santorini.
So it's not just about bringing your vision to a location.
It's also about letting the location shape the experience.
Exactly. And I think that's why this Santorini wedding is so successful.
It's a blend of the couple's vision and the island's character.
It's like they created a conversation between two worlds.
And that's what makes this wedding so interesting.
It's a story that you can see in everything, from the setting to the music.
And of course, the love between Davisha and James.
This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has. We've seen everything from the colorful outfits to the beautiful Santorini landscape.
We've explored the cultures, the details, the storytelling.
And we've seen how Davisha and James combine their Indian heritage with the charm of Greece.
Proving that a destination wedding can be spectacular and personal.
And we've learned that the best destination weddings are those that embrace the location.
While staying true to the couple's vision and values.
Well said. But before we finish,
Oh.
I have one last thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine you're sitting on a terrace in Santorini.
Ah.
The sun is shining, you smell bougainvillea, and you hear Indian music.
Yeah, it sounds so peaceful.
Now imagine that you're not just a guest, but you're helping to create this magic. What role would you play? Would you be the planner, the photographer, the musician, or someone else entirely?
Let me think. I think I'd be drawn to the storytelling side of things.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Maybe I'd be the videographer, capturing not just what happens, but the emotions, the little details, those special moments.
I like that you'd have the best seat in the house.
Exactly. And I'd get to shape how the wedding is remembered through the video.
You'd be like a fly on the wall seeing this love story unfold.
And then through editing, I could put those moments together and create a film that captures the whole feeling of the wedding.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, this deep dive has been a bit like that too.
How so?
We've taken all these pieces of information, these beautiful details from the blog post and photos,
Right.
and we've kind of woven them into our own story of this Santorini wedding.
It's been a team effort for sure. It has. And that's what I love about these deep dives.
What's that?
They let us really connect with the material to see how it all fits together.
And we've learned some cool stuff about destination weddings, about different cultures coming together, about the power of stories.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Davisha and James's wedding,
It's been quite a journey.
it has. Let's leave our listener with something to think about.
Okay, I'm ready?
What if you had to create a signature cocktail for this wedding? A drink that captures the whole vibe.
Ooh, fun challenge. Let's see.
It would have to be something that combines Indian flavors and the freshness of the Greek islands.
That's a good point.
Maybe a mango lassi martini with a bit of Santorini honey and a sprig of mint.
I love it. Sweet, tangy, refreshing, just like this wedding.
And on that note, we'll leave you to dream about those flavors and that magical Santorini celebration. Until next time, happy deep diving.